engaging celebrity interviews, exciting updates from Christian filmmakers, movie reviews so you can choose your movies wisely, and so much more here on Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Faith on Film. Thank you again so much for joining us today. I've got a very exciting interview today, Holly. How are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing great, and I'm looking forward to this interview because I think it's a topic that's going to appeal to everyone. I love it.
It is, and of course, it's perfect for our 250th anniversary of our country. So I'm very excited. My guest, by the way, is Kyle Justice. He's an Emmy Award-winning producer of many shows. I've known him for years, and he's got so many movies and documentaries that he's produced. This particular one, though, is a film that examines America's past and present battles for liberty, faith, and the survival of the constitutional republic. Now, the film is associated actually with the Department of Justice as they did a report on eradicating anti-Christmas bias. And we know that without getting political, we know that the previous administration really was out to terminate Christianity.
Well, let's get political because it's in the news. They've discovered it. It's the truth. It's not even a guess anymore. That's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
And this documentary totally touches on that. I mean, this gentleman got to interview everybody that's on the current administration, from Pam Bondi to Marco Rubio. You'll hear all about it when we go. So let's take a look at the trailer to By Dawn's Early Light, and then on to the interview.
It's hard to believe that the instruments of government would ever be used to punish faith, particularly one that goes deep to our heritage as a nation.
In recent years, our religious liberties as a nation have been tested, reaching to the highest levels of government.
I've got a note from the governor that says that your rights have been suspended. I'm sorry, our rights have been suspended?
We all of a sudden became the enemy.
It was more stressful to face the mandate than it was being on a combat deployment in Afghanistan.
I got 6 months house arrest, 5 years of probation.
I prepared myself to probably die in prison.
There are a lot of parents in our schools today who are afraid to do anything about it.
And the other agent literally was standing right here with the gun aimed directly at me as I pulled the curtain back.
Things truly were dark. It looked like religious liberty and rights in general were under attack.
To ensure religious liberty is not lost, President Trump signed Executive Order 14202, creating the task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias.
We saw so much wrong that was happening in this world that President Trump needed to stop that right away. And that's why he established this task force. Our job is to right the wrongs.
Hear from the dozens of interviews with government leaders, expert historians, and victims of religious persecution as they share the history of religious liberty in America, the wrongs that were done, and what is being done to make it right in this new documentary, By Dawn's Early Light. To watch for free on May 31st, go to bydawnsearlylightfilm.com and sign up. We invite you to watch together as a church, civic group, or individually. Sign up today and get updates and invites to watch By Dawn's Early Light.
Kyle, welcome to Faith on Film.
Thanks, Isaac. It's great to be here. We've known each other for years, and it's just so much fun to continue the relationship and be a part of your show and share this exciting project.
Well, thank you. Yeah, like you said, we've known each other for several years. I know most, if not all, of your projects, and they've all been fantastic, of course. But we just finished seeing the trailer right now. But I've seen, a couple of days ago, I saw the entire documentary. And I just have to tell you, Kyle, that I think this is the most important one you've ever done. Not only the best, and not really the best because all your other things have been fantastic, but this, I think, is the most important one you've ever done. You know how with Mel Gibson, he's done a lot of things, but for some reason now that whenever we hear his name, what do we hear? We hear The Passion. Well, I have a feeling that when we hear your name from now on, we're going to hear By Dawn's Early Light. That's what we're going to see. So listen, I'm just going to shut up and let you just tell us all about this documentary, how you came up with it, just kind of this whole process. All right.
Yeah, going way back, my twin brother and I got involved in film and television as 11, 12-year-olds. My dad's hobby was filmmaking. I went to a Bible-believing church and trusted in Christ very early in my life, around 5 years old, and always wanted to use the talents and the gifts and everything for God's glory, and had great opportunity over the years to do that. Worked for big ministries doing projects. We created awesome science media, which is a lot of our science biblical worldview content. And with this project, I've always had a passion for our country and our freedoms, and it's been so hard at times to see our country eroding and our freedoms being taken away. And going back to the early founders and what they established, and the Pilgrims and why they escaped Europe to practice their faith and not be crushed by tyranny. And so lately, things have been very challenging for Christians, for freedoms in general, the freedom of religion, the freedom, the rights of conscience. And it was almost 10 years ago, I ran into a guy in Oregon. He was a judge, and he was facing some really challenging things in his life because he decided he wasn't going to marry same-sex couples. And it was a voluntary activity. That wasn't a part of his job to marry people as a judge. It was kind of on the outside, and they went after him. And I did a documentary on his life then, and he was vindicated. The whole case was dropped. And about a year and a half ago, when Trump came in for a second term, I reached out to him because I knew he was interested in doing work in the government. And he said, yeah, I'd like to apply for jobs in the DOJ or the White House counsel. Yeah, and so I thought, oh, that's cool. And I prayed for him and such. And then the following February in 2025, Trump signed Executive Order 14202. It was part of his campaign promise to defend the rights of Christians, to defend the rights of religion, of faith, of rights of conscience. And he established this task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias in the government. A lot of it happened under the Biden administration, unfortunately. And this task force was made up not of, people here and there in the government nobody heard of, but these were cabinet level secretaries of the government that were heading up this task force. And in April 2025, April 22nd, a lot of 20s in there, they met for the first time, and I was invited to go up and to film. We need to be careful in the government not to say we went to shoot something, so we had to be very careful to say film. And we went up and we filmed this first day, and it was really amazing because you had these cabinet level people: Pam Bondi, Hegseth, Rubio, Besant, and a whole bunch of others. And it was kind of fun because I got to go down at the entryway of the DOJ where they met to film these guys coming in, Kash Patel of the FBI. And then because I was being brought in under the DOJ, I even got to sidestep and go past all the press people with my cameras because I was filming for the DOJ. It was kind of fun. It just really brought the fact that God is the one who advances and gives favor. It was amazing. So then through the processes, the executive order asked that a written report be done 1 year later to come out. And my contact within the DOJ, he had been hired to work for Todd Blanche, who's now the acting attorney general. And he asked basically what he wanted to do was to produce an accompanying documentary with the report, because how many people are going to read a 400-page report? Not many in the U.S. But a documentary people will watch. And so we started conceptualizing that last summer, and kind of pre-production last September. And then in October, we started filming all these interviews. We did 45 interviews total. And there was about 4 categories. One was, of course, all of the secretaries and other people, the administrators, the chair people that were involved in and a part of the task force. But then you had the victims to tell their stories. And I've had one lawyer watch this documentary and say, this is amazing, because you hear this story being, this, person's rights being taken away, or this person, but this is a collection, it's just story after story. It's an hour of all these stories that really, it's so hard to hear, because people that were in the military and they wanted to practice their right to not take the vaccine because of their faith. And so many of them were denied, and they fought this battle. And here these people are serving our country, and they're being ostracized. They're being denied promotions because of their faith and that stand there. So we get into those type of stories. There's experts, historical experts, to talk about the beginnings of our country, to talk about the fight for liberty over the years and what that means to Americans. And then there's a lot of lawyers from the ACLJ, the Alliance Defending Freedom, Thomas More Society, all these people that worked with the victims to fight for their rights. And so these, you total those people up, and that's a lot of interviews, 45. And we kept talking about this with the writers that I brought on for this. And they're like, Kyle, we have 500 pages of just really good sound bites, of really good quotes from these people. How do we get it down to 90 minutes, And we worked through it, and we got down to 50 pages of sound bites. And so, we started post-production in December and finished in March. Kind of the really cool thing too is that we wanted to premiere it, and the DOJ said, you know what, let's do this at the Kennedy Center, the Trump Kennedy Center now. And the other interesting thing too is that the DOJ, within the DOJ, it's like, we do law, we persecute justice, we do these things. We're not necessarily a documentary division of the government. And so Vince Haley, who's head of the Domestic Policy Council for the White House, he was working with my contact at the DOJ, and Vince agreed to take on the project under the White House. So officially, this is a White House project under the Domestic Policy Council. And so, all of these different things, that the doors God was opening up, all the people we talked to, a lot of the cabinet members are believers, others who are just strong proponents of freedom. And it's just exciting to be a part of that, to meet these people, but just to see their passion. One of my favorites was Pete Hegseth. As you know, he's very passionate about his faith, and just to see that in person was amazing. And so probably another part of the story too is that we wanted to release this to the general public for free. And, we could do it through YouTube and so on. But one of the companies that I've worked with, Salem Media, who does Salem Now, I went to a guy there that runs the Salem Now, and I said, hey, would you guys like to be a part of this? And they were like, yeah, we're already involved in the White House and what Vince Haley's doing. And so they got behind it. They helped put together the website. They're doing a lot of the marketing and being able to send that message out to their audience for Salem Media. We're working with the White House Faith Office, where they're going to get this message out. And next Sunday, well, as of May 31st, because I know the show comes out in July, this episode, it will be released to the general public. And we're encouraging people to view it in their homes, but we feel like there's a great opportunity for churches and civic groups and TPUSA groups and chapters to get together and do a watch party, and being able to watch the project and talk about it afterwards. We really hope that and pray that it activates Christians around the country to go, this was wrong. And we need to stand for our faith. We need to stand for our freedoms. And whether it's going and looking at the candidates coming up and those that are going to stand for freedom and their rights, Vince Haley, when he first saw this at the White House, he was like, this has the incredible opportunity to really impact our country. And so we're excited. And one of the lawyers said, Kyle, this is your magnum opus. And it's like, wow, I had never thought about it like that, but I'm trying to just stay humble and say, Lord, use this for your glory.
Well, I'll tell you what, there is so much to unpack on this, and I wish you had a 2-hour show. But you said something that just jumped in my heart. Okay, and I want to ask you about this. You said you and your brother, your twin brother, I guess, is he the better looking one, or is it you? I just
It depends which day you ask. Right?
I know you both, by the way, and it's hard for me to tell who's who. But anyway, you said that you guys had started kind of delving in the filmmaking, whether it now back in you're old enough to where you probably were using video cameras, I'm assuming, or little 8mm film cameras or something, because that's how I started.
Yeah, no,
I started shooting things with my dad's little 8mm camera that you literally had to wind up. But anyway, I digress. Do you, in my heart, I just kind of felt like from that moment is when God already had this in mind, and he just put that in your heart to start preparing you to what, like I said, could be your defining film. Okay. Do you maybe feel that yourself? I mean, was all of this that you've been doing for the past, I don't know how many years, kind of in preparation for this? Because I keep saying this is probably one of your most important films.
Yeah, boy, it really is amazing. I think back, starting as 11, 12-year-old with my brother and all the opportunities God opened up. When I have looked back and said, this is the project, the key project of my life, probably not. God doesn't always reveal everything to us. I think sometimes we might get big heads. You think about Joseph, right? And he had this vision of, people bowing down to him and all that, and he kind of got a big head about it. But God was doing an amazing work, I think, in my brother and I's life with my dad and his hobby of filmmaking and the equipment we had. We were going out shooting our own television shows at 15, 16. We went to a high school that had full television studios and editing. I mean, where does that happen? In Portland, Oregon. That's where I grew up. And so over the years, God just continually either opens doors or closes doors. Sometimes when I thought, oh, this is where God's leading, I'm going to go this way, and it falls flat because maybe I didn't quite hear from the Lord. Or, God's using that as an opportunity to grow my character and my faith. And so when this project came about, I wasn't seeking it. It was something that God opened that door. Although, back in 2017, I did the documentary on the guy in Oregon who was a judge who eventually went to work for the White House. And when he got the vision to do the film, he knew where to come. And so, so much was about relationships that God builds that you're like, wow, where's this going to go? And yet God opens those doors at the right time, at the right place. And it reminds me so much of Esther, where she said, for such a time as this, or actually Mordecai said, for such a time as this. And that has occurred to me quite a few times. The other thing is the verses in Proverbs where it talks about when you're highly skilled at what you do, you'll be working before kings. And I thought of that verse as well. And it's humbling. It's very humbling. But proud at the same time. And finally, the verses, when this whole project came about and it's kind of coming more and more to fruition of it going live, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't like it. And, the quiet ask myself, am I opening myself and my family up to some persecution? And I had to kind of face that too. And God led me to Joshua 1, be strong and courageous, for I'm with you. And my wife reminded me of when I think it was Elijah, when they were being encroached on by the army, because he was telling the Israel king about where this enemy king was going and what he was doing. He said, open your eyes, or he prayed, God, open the eyes of my servant. And all of a sudden his eyes are open. He saw the chariots of fire and the things that God's protection was there. So I just need to keep that in mind, and that there's a lot of amazing things that I believe God, that doors will open up from this too. But most of all, my prayer is that people are really, their eyes are opened, and that they're able to see, wow, okay, this is really not good, what happened, and we need to stand up. We we need to vote. We need to, do podcasts. We need to talk about this in churches. We need to really be unified, because that's what our country is founded on, was our religious freedom and the rights of conscience that we have under the Constitution.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I keep saying that this is like your most important and you're defining the film, but you know what? There might be something in the future still. This may not be it, right? So be prepared for that, man. All I can say though is right now, this is a must see, people. You got to see this film. How again can they watch this film?
Yeah, so the main website is bydawnsearlylight.com, and on the bottom of the screen, you would, before May 31st, well, actually, you would use the buttons on the bottom to sign up. Before May 31st, you'll get an email saying, thanks for coming, and we're going to send you the link. But after the 31st, May 31st, you'll get an active link right after you sign up for the film. And again, we encourage not just single groups, but actual, church groups and others to watch it. We're really hoping that happens.
And church groups can just show it at will, or do they have to apply for some kind of license or something?
No, it is open to the public. We're making it free for at least 90 days. And there's no license fee or anything. And partially because, we worked with the White House on this project. And so is something that we wanted to make available so that as many people see it as possible.
And perfect for the 250th anniversary of our country, huh?
That is for sure, yes.
All right. Well, Kyle, thank you for stopping by on our show today and just sharing all about this wonderful film. I cannot say enough good things about it. So, folks, get out there and watch this thing, all right? Kyle, thank you so much, man. Folks,
thanks for having me, Izzy. Thank you.
We'll be right back after this message with more Faith on Film.
What makes Capernaum Studios different from other movie studios? We believe in empowering filmmakers to make stories that matter, inspire, uplift, and transform lives. From historically authentic sets to state-of-the-art, fully equipped sound stages, we offer immersive LED and green screen stages, ICVFX virtual production, period to modern sets, a first-century village featured in The Chosen, and much more. We provide everything filmmakers need to focus on what matters in making their vision a reality, producing meaningful content affordably without compromising creativity. Discovering what's possible when creativity meets purpose. Capernaum Studios, empowering filmmakers to make dreams a reality.
Have you been enjoying our show, Faith on Film? We sure do enjoy bringing you information every week on what is happening in and around the world of faith and family entertainment, with interviews with some of the best faith and family filmmakers, to reviews of the Hollywood movies being marketed to you so that you can choose your movies wisely. But we cannot do this alone. That is why we are launching the Faith on Film Champion campaign. One definition of a champion is an individual who passionately supports, defends, and fights for a cause. What is a Faith on Film champion? Well, it is an opportunity for you to partner with us and help us continue to bring these great shows to you every week. To learn more about becoming a Faith on Film champion, just visit our website, faithonfilmtv.com. That's faithonfilmtv.com. There you will find all the information you need to become a Faith on Film champion. And now, let's get back to our show.
Great interview, Isaac. Wow, that was a good interview.
Thank you. It just taught me a lot, not only from the interview itself, but I did see the film, and it just really opened my eyes a lot about where we were headed just a couple of years ago.
Isaac, I remember when the baker had to close her bakery because they were threatening to sue because she'd made a cake and she didn't want to make a cake for a gay couple. I remember the people being arrested in front of the clinics where the abortion and the anti-abortion people, the pro-life people were there. The coach who prayed on the field with his team and got removed from the team because he prayed on the field. I mean, every person in every walk of life was attacked for their faith. And it was hard. You could see it coming down on everyone. And that wasn't individual. That was the government that was behind it and the administration that allowed that.
Yep. And that's what you will see in the documentary itself. I really encourage you to watch that documentary. You saw in the interview how to watch it. It's free. That's the wonderful thing, is that it's free. There's something that I can't say about it of how it was funded, but just let me tell you, it was fully funded, and so you can watch it for free. That's exciting.
Well, and I think in this day and age, this equips you once again. Look, this isn't just for adults. You better start training your teenagers and your college age kids and everyone. You start letting them see documentaries like this and know what's going on, because they have to know what they're going to get out in that world. It's not going to get easier. It's not like, oh, now that Trump's in, it's easy. We've had a reprieve. Let's put it this way. We've had someone try to put order back into chaos, but the genie is out of the bottle. The whole world is chaotic now, and you can see it. So you need to see documentaries like this and hear things that speak out for your rights and up for your rights, so that we know what you can stand for. You know, this is a God-given country with God-given rights. It just is. And when they come into, especially the Catholic Church, man, they persecuted those nuns. Oh my gosh, what they did to them.
I know. And the thing is, and I heard somebody make this comment, that what we are experiencing right now with the current administration is God just giving us a second chance to get things right. And if we don't, like you said, it could go back. It could go back. So we need to be real careful about how we handle this and really appreciate this second chance that God has given us.
That's right. We're on a reprieve, so to speak, and a breather. Okay. But you've got to stand strong and know what our rights are and stand for those. They're putting laws into place. That's what Trump is doing, putting laws into place that protect us. But it's by the skin of our teeth. It's only by people that are in those positions to keep it that way, because otherwise it won't stay that way. We've seen how it goes the other way. So yes, great interview, Isaac, and good documentary. What is it again? And what is it again? And where
so it's called By Dawn's Early Light, and they can go to the website. And by the way, I can't remember it right now, but you'll see it right here in the bottom. You'll see the website where you can go and watch it for free. I can't emphasize that enough. It's probably one of the most important films you may watch in a long time, and it's free. So no excuses. Don't say, oh, I don't have enough money. Get out there, watch it for free.
Okay.
Well, that's it for today, Holly. We've had 3 wonderful shows lately dealing with our country and the birth of our country.
Constitutional rights.
Constitutional rights and God's providence over our country. So it's been wonderful.
Yes. The best nation in the world.
That's right. But unfortunately, we have to go now, Holly. Unfortunately, we have to go now. So, folks, don't forget to check out our website, faithonfilmtv.com. That's faithonfilmtv.com. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, also at Faith on Film TV. Holly, until next week, take care.
God bless.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Faith on Film TV. Also, visit our website, faithonfilmtv.com. That's faithonfilmtv.com, where you'll find links to all of our past shows and much more.